Hi everyone, this is Val, and today I'm going to try and get a couple of tutorial videos done. They're the processes of assembling your signatures, and then I'll be doing the second tutorial will be on sewing the signatures into the journal, but one of the signatures will be with elastic, which is what I call my hybrid style. So that will be the second video. This one, I'm just showing you how I assemble my signatures to start with. Now, I generally start with a kit, and this one is my Australiana kit, and you can see there's lots of pages there. If you choose to not use a kit, then of course you just assemble whatever it is you want to put into your journal, into the signatures. So please just substitute your random pieces of paper if you don't use a kit. So what I have to do next is trim the pages, and then I will tea dye the backs. So I'll be back shortly when I've completed those tasks. So I'm back now, and I've trimmed the pages and a fingertip, and because I used the guillotine, and I've lightly tea dyed the backs of them. So the next process that I would do would just be to fold them all in half, and I could have done this off camera because I'm sure you know how to do that. I'll just pause you, I think, and get them folded. Okay, that's got all my pages folded. What I do now is I just sort them into piles. So that's lined paper. That's not particularly special. I like that one and that one. That's just a, when I say not so special, they're not, I'm looking for the ones I'm going to use for the cover and so forth. So I'm just sorting them into those different categories. Another one again. Lines, 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 lines. And so I'm basically looking at the ones, I need 6 that I particularly like, and they will be 3 for the front of each signature because I'm doing 3, and also 3 to be in the middle. So I want 6. So something that I like particularly, and I think that I really like those 2 as fronts. So I'll set those as 1 and 2. And maybe they'd look nice as the middle ones. And that can be a middle, and I think perhaps that can be the other front. So basically what I'll be doing is putting the middle one reverse the other way. So we're starting to get a little bit of structure to our journal signatures already, just by selecting our covers and the double spread that we're going to have in the middle of each signature. So the other one, so that's now said, that's our 3 signatures. So we've got some other pages, so 1, 2, 3, and I'll try to alternate them a bit so they're not too similar. We've got plain, and that's got green, so that one can have plain. And they're kind of a bit similar with that image, so they can have one each. And I've got to give them some lined papers too, so that one can have that one because that gets that flower. And then 1, 2, 3, and who didn't have a green? I think you don't have a green. Sometimes they end up with one and will have an extra page of the pattern or whatever, because when I design I just go a bit crazy. I always have, you know, lots of pages, and I think the smallest one I've got is 10, but some of them have got as many as 20 pages in the kit. Double pages, so that's 40 when you fold them. So they're going to be my 3 signatures. Now what they also need is some just plain tea-dyed paper, and I've already tea-dyed that as well. And I think I've made 4 for each. But some of it are smaller, so I'll alternate those if I need to. So then also every signature gets a doily. So I don't always do this, but in this one each will have a doily. So each signature is going to have a doily as well. And also I put some lined paper in. I've got this one which might go in. I had it sitting around. I've tea-dyed some plain paper, just plain lined paper out of a book, so maybe that can go in. And I've also got these that I think are beautiful, and I might try and fit one of those in each one as well. Then I also want to have some book pages. So I've got some lovely images that I got in Happy Mail from a variety of people, and I'll try and put those in as well. 1 each. I also got one from the op shop or something, so that's a nice one for that one. Look at this, Home Among the Gum Trees. They'll be nice. That's a bit of Burke's Backyard. They'll be good. And maybe that one can have something a bit different. Maybe that one, no, that one can have that one. And then I've got two that have got some old music, The Drover's Dream and Ladies of Brisbane, and maybe that one can have that. So I'm not quite sure whether I'll put everything in, but that's basically what it is. And then I like some smaller bits of paper too, and sometimes I use cardstock and just put different size papers in, but I'll just give them all at least one of this smaller one, which is just ordinary old paper. Just a notepad that I bought from the news agents. Just gives you a little bit of extra different paper, a bit of variety. Also got these envelopes that I might put in. So I've just got a plain cream one. It may be too big. I'll put that aside to see if it works later. This one is kind of like farm, but it still goes in Australiana. And these ones are like sunflowers and things, so they're very pretty as well. I might have those. I've also got, if I want some more lined paper, I've also got this exercise book that I sometimes will just tear the pages out. If I keep it double, I just trim them down to put them in as a double page. But if not, I fold them sideways. And I've also got some tracing paper here that isn't yet trimmed to size. And I may or may not put some of that in as well. So I start off with quite a lot of options, get them all ready. So now we'll just work on one signature at a time. And we've got our base somewhere among all this. Would be there. So I would generally say, okay, so that's our middle, put it aside for a minute. And I'd go, let's have a plain one next. And then perhaps another pattern one. And another of those. I think maybe we'll have our doily next. These can all, I change these around so many times, you know, I put them like this and then I alternate them and, you know, do different things. And then sometimes I want a really pretty one to go next to the doily. And then we might have a book page, I think. Let's see how this one goes. Home Among the Gum Trees. That just looks really special. So that will work like that. And another plain page. I hope I'm not boring you with this. It's just that a lot of people do ask me, how do I go about selecting the order that I put things in my journals? And this is pretty much it. This is what I do. And I'll put that small piece then. And you know, I don't want to fold that koala bear in the middle. I might have to do something else with him. I might have to have him as a fold out and just stick him on a page and have that fold out so you can bring him back in. I think I don't want to. I think I don't. Oh, that was note paper. That one that I said was an envelope. It isn't an envelope. It's a couple of pieces of paper, but that's pretty. So I'll put that in next, like so. So that paper, and then that one. I've got two lined ones. I might have to backtrack and put a lined one back further. I might fold this way. And put that in the middle, and the other lined one better go back near the front, so there's not two lined ones too close together. So there we go, there's one signature. And I just repeat that process with each one, and just alternate them, and then when I'm ready and I do a flick through, so I don't like that straight away, I might even not have that, or maybe I won't have that one. I'll try that one instead. And it's just a matter of the colours that you like and where you go with it. Yes, I'm pretty happy with that one. So that's how I go about. Now, this cover that I've chosen for this one is here. So then I'll sit them inside the cover to kind of see how they're going to look. And they will be inside that cover. They'll be laced on the edge, so that's a good amount to allow for a bit of lace in there. And they don't look very special at the moment, but they're going to, I assure you. So we could do the other ones as well, or I could do them off screen. I guess if you're bored, you can quit now, because I'm just going to do the same thing and get the 3 signatures ready, so that the next video will be where I sew them in. I do sometimes, most of the time I actually do this. I would I would affix a good portion of my pockets onto the pages before I sew in. So that might be done too when we come back to start sewing in the signature. And the reason I do that is because I actually find it easier. I've found if I sew them in and then put on the pockets, I sometimes get a bit crazy and the pockets are all jammed up together at one end of the journal or something like that, and I hate that. I really hate it. I like to space them out and I like to vary them. And, you know, I'd go and find, oh, okay, I've put all the corner pockets next to each other instead of breaking it up with a corner and then a belly band or something. So I find I like to do them, and I'll put a lot of the pockets in before we get to the sewing in stage, but I may or may not do that on the screen. So here's one of the ways to use an envelope. I might just put it into the signature like this, and so on one side you've got just a little pretty envelope, and on the other side you've got the flap of the envelope, and that actually looks nicer that way. So I would probably just glue down a little strip of it there and use that as a tuck spot. So that's one way you can use it. You can also use your envelope as a flip out just by putting it onto instead of having it in the join, just put it on your page like that. So on this side you might put it on a plain one on the other side, but again you would just do the same thing. You've got a flip out there with a tuck in there, and you've got a tuck in there as well. So there's a couple of ways you can use an envelope. I'm not sure which way this one will go yet. I think I'll put it on the edge of the page though, so I won't actually put it into the signature itself. And again, we've got a lovely a picture. Will I fold that one in half and have the kangaroos on either side of the page? I'm not sure. That's the problem. It's all decisions, like it's craziness, all the decisions you have to make. Even, like, I just went and tea-dyed all the backs of the pages, but sometimes I don't, I leave them white. So, you know, there's still a bit of variety there to be aware of. I don't think I've got enough pages in this. I think this one can have that. And I've got one of these for it. So there's a couple of things I could do with that, but I'll stick to the thing I did with the other one and just put that folded in half in the middle. I just love that paper. I was so happy when I found it. Can't tell you how pleased I was to get that. Alright, so I've got to decide what I'm going to do with that. Although I might actually look nice in the middle too, you know, just have that left as the middle page. And then I could put that back around that way and have that in the middle. I'm not sure. Like I said, decisions. And I haven't put this little piece of paper in yet. Sometimes there's lots small little bits of paper, and I'll be patterned papers and pretty papers out of my collection, which I haven't even gone through yet. Did I have a doily for this one? I should have, and I don't think I do. I'll come back to looking for the doily. So there's another signature done, and two that I've kind of like still got to decide what to do with. And here we go with the third one. This is actually going to be the first signature, not the third one, because I think it's got the prettiest image on the front, like absolutely gorgeous image. But of course I like them because, you know, it stands to reason, doesn't it? And here we go with the Drover's Dream. Now, really, I don't think I want to fold that in half. I might just fold it there. So all of the Drover's Dream is on this side, and just have that little bit on the other side. I think I like it like that. And we'll have a kangaroo. And where's my plain paper? It's gone. Oh, there's a doily in this one at least. That's backyard. It's just funny because I thought I had plenty of pattern papers and it's not really looking like they're full enough for my little taste. And I think I like that against the possums. That'll look pretty, won't it? I think it will. Then I've got that. And if you don't like them, you know, you can. That's why I just do it like this, and then you can go through and check out what you do and don't like. We've got another one like this, but will I do something different with it? No, I'll stick to the same way, just fold it in half. One of my friends gets a bit bent out of shape about this. She doesn't like the lines going that way, but, you know, I mean, a real journaler would stand on their head, wouldn't they? Think about it. And do their pages. We're not so the not so thing about having things running the right way. Yes, the bat's hanging upside down, so it always confuses me that he's not quite right. Right, so that's got another signature done. Now you see the pages didn't all line up exactly right, but I'm okay with that because by the time I put lace on these, you won't even notice. But if it does bother you at any time, then certainly you can change it around and cut them off, whatever. But sometimes it's because they're all about the same size, but when you, no, I will leave that there. When they're all about the same size, but by the time you've got that fold happening, it does make the ones in the middle a bit look like they're a bit wider, even though they're not. So there you go, there's my 3 signatures, and so in the cover they're going to look like this, and one of them's got a pretty picture on the back, that one, so it'll be the second one. So they're going to go like that, and you'll see I've got a page sticking up there. I may leave it like that, or I might trim it down. But by the time I'm finished, I'm going to have lace and ribbons and all sorts of threads and everything sticking out the top. So I'm not worried about a bit of paper. Although I do try to make them pretty much all the same height, it doesn't really matter, I don't think. And if I don't like it when it's all put together, I'll trim it then. So I had an envelope for this one as well, this thing. So I might do one where it's a flip out and one where it's in the journal as a like so. Might do it that way. And just stagger it a bit, so you've got a little page, then a little envelope, and then you've got another page that's a bit smaller, but yeah, there we go. So there's the 3 signatures. Now I hope I didn't bore you too much with that, but I have had people ask me how I choose what goes in each signature, how do I arrange them all, and that's the process that I go through. Get my kit pages, sort them into what's the fronts, what's the middles, what's just fillers for in the middle of it, and go from there, and then add in everything else. There's other things I sometimes add. I have graph paper, tracing paper, which you saw, lined papers, cardstock, bits and pieces, and that some of those might get put in. When I come back and show you it before I sew it in, you might see I've added a couple extra things, and I may also, as I said, have put on some of the pockets. And I still have to decide what to do with this gorgeous koala. He is going in there, and so is that music paper, but I just haven't decided how to do them to get the maximum appeal of those. So I'll be back with the second video, the sewing in one, in a little while. Thank you so much for watching.